Guess who's back?
Us?
Yeah!
Oh, yay!
I'm Sock Puppet Tyler.
I'm Sock Puppet Watts.
And this is the Bikerumor Friday Yard Sale. Welcome back. This week, we have so much cool tech because it's that time of year and lots of tech is coming out. Lots of new products, lots of new bikes, super exciting. And because we're here, that means this is another week sponsored by DeFeet Socks. And Watts,
Yes.
what are we going to win? What are we giving away? We don't win.
We're not giving away shit. DeFeet Socks is giving away a baker's dozen worth of socks. So, lots of chances to win. That's approximately
Don't say
a
it.
baker's dozen worth. Have you noticed that my sock puppet even has an Adam's apple like me?
I was going to say,
Like
it's quite the
big
gullet.
old thing right here.
Makes it look like a baby, like mama bird trying to feed baby
Like
birds.
a mega mouth shark.
Or that. I guess that's cooler.
Yeah.
So, you have a longer neck too. Why do you have a longer neck than me?
Christy B.
Oh, yeah. It's just the way I'm sewn.
Am I supposed to say something else?
I don't know. You ready to get to it?
Yeah, man.
Let's kick this thing into gear.
Oh, fuck. That is a sock little pun.
Sort of. Not my best effort.
Damn, it took me a while. Yay.
Alright, so Watts, what are we drinking today?
We're both drinking Funky Buddha Hop Gun IPA.
It's very good.
It's pretty good.
It's kind of the only new one.
Just got it on tap today.
Alright, so it's fresh. I like it. Right on. And you got back just a couple days ago from racing the Croatan 150,
Mm-hmm.
Buck 50,
Buck 50.
which is a 150-mile gravel race, and you took third place in single speed.
Single speed.
How was that?
It was so hard. That was the race itself didn't have to be, or the event it didn't have to be that hard, but because it's so flat, everyone just took off, and it was just balls to the wall.
You feel compelled to keep up?
Yeah,
or
of course.
like,
I had to get on like the lead group and try to hang on as long as I could, because if I didn't get on the lead group and the other guy did, then he was gone, and that's exactly what happened.
huh.
Eventually, I got shelled, and he managed to hang on for a while, and he probably finished half hour ahead of me.
Man. How long did it take you to finish?
I don't know, 8 hours?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick.
I mean, I think like it was basically 3 laps. So first lap I had an average of 21, second lap average of 18, third lap it was like 15.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I just was shelled. Because as I get older, like I used to be able, I could go out and just burn all my matches and then hope to just hang on. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
now I'm
you
like
get a little
diesel,
smarter about it, right?
which I'm not any smarter. So
So that's why you went hard right from the gun. Huh?
yeah.
Man, so how was the event itself?
It was great, man. I mean, for the first year doing that, they did a solid job. Like, swag was awesome, organization was good, turnout was what it was. You know, it was well done. You know, the only real bummer to me was it was not much of an after party. Like everyone finished and kind of mingled a little bit, but then it kind of went. And we were all
Super
set
tired, right? Or
to
no,
camp
you
out.
were ready to
I was
go.
pretty done. But I still wanted to like drink and sit by a fire.
Right.
And yeah, then that night we're all like getting ready to camp, and everyone takes off. And literally, my van was the only van in the whole racetrack.
I'm going to talk about your favorite subject in the world.
What's that?
E-bikes. Just for a second.
All right, I'm gonna look this way.
So I rode my bike over here, and I've been thinking about this for a while, is that most e-bikes assists top out at, whatever they top out at, the assist level plummets after that, or it just turns off altogether. And so, like, most of them have like a 19 point something or 20 mile an hour cap. And so, like, on the way over, I was shooting some video showing how the assist level is like helps you right up into there, and then it just boom, drops. And that's really, it's such an abrupt feeling. You go from like having to put forth very little effort to get up to 20 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden at 20.1 miles per hour, it's all on you. And so you have this all of a sudden, you're like, ugh, which makes it, and then when your natural inclination is to like keep it at that 20 mile an hour, which means you feel that power like every once in a while, like surging in when you're dropping a little bit. And I feel like that's one area where the e-bikes could get better is figuring out how to smooth that transition off a little bit so that it'll assist gradually up into like 22, 23 miles an hour, or just start tapering off first, depending on what the legal requirements are. But
I believe you. I believe you. What's next?
Tire tech.
All right.
So we have published 2 in a what's probably going to be capped out of the 3-part series on tread design for mountain bike tires. And the first one had a lot of brands talking about the way they do it and all that, which pretty much shows how unscientific the approach is to developing tire tread. Part 2 is just Bontrager's input and kind of their process, which was similarly non-scientific. And so for Part 3 coming up next week, I think you guys are really going to dig. We just were off the phone with Tom Ritchie for an hour talking about how he did it. Because really, like if you look at some of the original mountain bike tires, they came from Ritchie. And a lot of the original designs that were getting knocked off came from Ritchie. So this is going to be a fantastic story. But I think it's going to let a lot of people down in the fact that it's very non-scientific. But it's good. And you brought up some examples of some tires.
Well, I was just, when I was at the Specialized launch, and Eric was talking about developing the Sawtooth tire specifically for that Sequoia platform. And he basically was just like, so I drew something that I thought looked cool, and then took it to the engineers there, and then they kind of had to look at it and go like, well, all right, well, we can probably make a tire around this, and then how to make it actually work or play with what he was doing and try to create a tire that did function. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So this week we had new bikes from Rocky Mountain, new hardtail Vertex, and from Santa Cruz, their new hardtail, the Highball 3, and the new full suspension Blur 3. Basically, the story on all those is pretty simple. Lighter, longer, slacker, race-ready bikes, all 3.
Meanwhile, no new single speeds debuted this week.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
If only
I
there
don't
were
get
a
it.
market for that.
There is.
The suspension tech article that we did this week, we're going to get into
I
suspension.
thought you were talking about the water bottle, but
Oh, the squeezable titanium water bottle? Yeah, it's crazy. But, something different. Anyway, so our suspension tech article series this week focused on undamped suspension in your frame. So this is kind of like part 3. We've done undamped forks, undamped parts, and now we're talking about undamped frames. And the surprising thing is, when you really start diving into it, like we did, like really deep, it was a great article, is that even though it looks like this is an undamped suspension item because it doesn't have like a damping cartridge with hydraulic control and all that, there is damping built into this. The materials have some intrinsic damping, and then they use the elastomer inside the spring on the Moots YBB, which was kind of the focus of the article, but we do talk about some other bikes and designs in there. But the elastomer, like if you squish it, right, like it kind of like resists a little bit, and then it doesn't just like, it comes back out slow, so that provides some control. But what I found most interesting with this week's article is that the design of the Moots is that the chainstays are actually the spring. Think of them as like giant leaf springs. And then the shock up at the top at their little YBB seat stay yoke is really just there to kind of keep that motion in a controlled plane, but also, that provides a little bit of the damping and the speed control. So it's not a totally undamped system. It's just that it doesn't have this like hydraulic damping like people would consider. So that article is definitely worth checking out because there's a lot going on there. And then you pointed out that this is like an old design, right?
Original Ibis Ripley with John Castellano. I mean, that was totally the same sort of like. I mean, it started out as a tie frame, and then it was an aluminum frame, and flattened.
Started as tie and went to aluminum, or
it started as the silk tie or something.
Yeah,
like
okay.
that.
So I guess it had to be tie. Yeah, and
then turned into an aluminum frame, became the Ripley, as I understand it. My brother still rides an old OG Ripley from John Castellano, and I think actually when his got so just corroded because he was riding it on the beach with surfboards, he actually ordered a new frame from John Castellano, like, because he still makes the frame.
Which maybe remind me of the Ibis Ripley, though. You know, like the Ripley itself, that model has grown into a 29er, full suspension trail, 130 mil front, 120 mil, or 20 mil rear, like just ripper of a bike. And what we spotted this week were some spy shots of a new Ripley coming, a new Ibis coming that could be a long travel Ripley. It's definitely 29er, much bigger travel, a little bit different shock layout, but you know, like the spy shots we got from one of our fans was kind of far away, kind of top down, so you can't see everything. But we checked in with Ibis, and they said that the information and the official launch on that's coming really, really soon. So stay tuned.
Cool. Yeah, because we're an Ibis dealer.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stocking dealer?
Well,
just kind of like
we're a poor North Carolina shop. But talk to us about all your Ibis needs, North Carolina. I'm going to do another beer.
So am I.
So
beer break. If I remember right, the beer didn't matter quite as much, but the arms and the legs definitely. Like that was a huge improvement in drag reduction. I know. I think about it once in a while. But then I'm like, you know, my brother does it, and it's all stubbly on his arms. I'm like, yeah, that's just
sounds
weird.
like work that I just...
True. Speaking of work, this is work.
Yeah,
we are working right now.
Hmm.
2017.
Tom, you're drunk.
Not yet.
Alright, we're just going to start that all over again.
Okay. Wait, what were you going to say?
That was
You
horrible.
were going to use my...
You said innovate or die. So,
Okay, yeah.
speaking of innovate or die, which is a specialized catchphrase,
Oh, it is?
trademark, you're busted, dude. They're going to come after you so hard.
Okay, and go.
So we're finally going to talk about suspension. This week, RockShox introduced new internals for 4 of their forks. They're probably the most popular models, the Pike, Revelation, Lyric, and Yari. And they also made some improvements to the rear shocks. On the forks, what they did, when they introduced debonair in their forks last year, it was basically a larger air volume in the negative chamber, which theoretically makes it a lot more plush, and they say mid-surge support and all this stuff. Now what they've done is they've redesigned that piece to take advantage of the space inside the suspension shaft where the whole thing slides on. So they basically ported that to open that up and added anywhere from like 30 to 40-something% more volume to the negative chamber. And then they improved the piece that the whole thing slides on that seals off the negative from the positive. And so the whole thing makes it way more plush, tons less stiction, super cool. And then if you really want to geek out, what they did at the rear shocks is they created new measurement tools to try and find just the most incremental of gains. So, you know, you basically have one round tube sliding over another. If you can make them more round, theoretically it's less stiction, so they developed new measurement tools to be able to tell where it was not perfectly round, and then based on that, developed a new manufacturing process to make them more round. Super geeky, but this is what I love about the brands that are pushing the envelope, because it's like every year I keep thinking, suspension's so good, right? Like, it's so dialed. How are they ever going to make it better? And this is how. It's
all right.
Fascinating.
I believe it.
Well, it's about that time to tell you how to win some DeFeet socks. I think we're going to let the sock puppets do it, but
yeah,
we should mention that we are wearing DeFeet socks, so if you like the styles, check out DeFeet.com. Nice. And yeah, you're going to want to head to DeFeet.com/Bikerumor to win, and this is how you win today.
For your chance to win, go to DeFeet.com/Bikerumor and answer the following complex word puzzle. How many in a baker's dozen? How many? I have no clue.
It's tough. But that's how many pairs of socks, we're giving away this week. And then, if you win, you can make your own sock puppet.
Yeah. Meh. We're hilarious.
Oh, hey. Like this video? Be sure to hit subscribe and hit that like button.
Yeah.
Thanks for
What
watching.
he said.